Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the very final day of my vlog. Today, of course, is the day E3 starts, so everyone is very excited. The press conference is coming up very soon. Microsoft starting at 5:30 GMT. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Very, very excited. But before we jump into E3 fully, we're gonna go for some predictions again, and this is the third company, of course. This is Nintendo. Nintendo, the people who usually surprise us the most. We don't know what goes on a lot behind the scenes because they keep a very tight lid on what they want to show at E3, so we get surprised often, and that's exciting. So let's jump straight into it with my Nintendo predictions for this year. If you haven't watched the previous two videos on Microsoft and Sony, I recommend you go back and try and find those on my channel. Should be pretty easy to find, but as I said, I'm doing 5 predictions for each company, 4 normal predictions and 1 kind of outlandish one, and we'll see how that goes. If you do obviously have predictions of your own, you can feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we can have a conversation about that. Without further ado, let's get straight into it with my first prediction. I think that Nintendo are not going to release a release date or a price point for the Wii U at E3 2012. The reason I say this is that traditionally Nintendo do not like covering that sort of thing at E3. What they usually like to do is concentrate on software and the hardware itself rather than sort of the stuff surrounding it. They do like to talk about sales a lot, but they don't usually unveil a release date or a price point just because they want to maybe change it up later on if things go wrong. They have to delay it or maybe bring it up closer depending on what other companies are doing. So it seems right that they won't do it in this format. What I think will happen is that later on down the line, maybe around October time, they'll release another Nintendo Direct video, the sort of service they've been doing recently where they release these pre-made videos onto the internet and sort of divulge some information about what they've been doing recently. So that's probably the format that's going to happen. They're going to release the price and release date during a Nintendo Direct video, but I do not think they will say anything about that at E3. Second prediction, I think that Retro Studios are definitely going to be unveiling their new game at E3. It's been long enough since Donkey Kong Country Returns, and we know that they have been working on something on Wii U. We don't know what. There's obviously the rumor of the Star Fox Metroid crossover, which kind of got quelled the other day, but there's still signs that it could be anything from F-Zero to Star Fox to Metroid to Zelda even. I mean, it could be that. But personally, what I am thinking is that it's going to be a Star Fox game. I think it's going to have a Star Fox game with elements of Metroid. I do think that they would be good to go back to Metroid and it would be very solid for them to do so, but at the same time, I would like to see them tackle a different Nintendo IP, and Star Fox is one that hasn't got a lot of love over the years, kind of neglected, and I feel that they would do a fantastic job. They know how to work with a Nintendo IP, they know how to revive a Nintendo IP, and Star Fox is one of those which really needs some work. To be perfectly honest, I want Retro to make a Zelda game, so if that happens, upturn the tea table, you just made my life. I'm not even going to say anything else. But it seems likely that it won't be that, so maybe Star Fox is the thing to go with. Prediction number 3, I think that EAD Tokyo, the studio behind the Galaxy games and Mario 3D Land, are working on another 3D Mario platformer for the Wii U. Now these guys are geniuses at what they do. I love this, probably my favorite in-house studio at Nintendo. I basically play the games they make to death. They really are fantastic games. They know how to do a really good Mario platformer. I think Nintendo would do well to keep going with that studio for the Wii U, and hopefully they get something out. I don't think that there will be a demo. What I think they'll probably do is show some sort of HD footage in a sizzle reel. That seems the most likely scenario because I'm not sure if they'll have had enough work put into a game by this point to be able to sort of reveal it fully. But hopefully they'll have something like what the Zelda tech demo was like last year, just in terms of Mario, and kind of giving us a teaser for what we can expect on the Wii U. My fourth prediction, going back to the Wii U, I think that Nintendo are definitely going to dedicate a lot of time in the press conference to that system. I think F-Zero is going to come out on the Wii U. And the reason I say this, Miyamoto's mentioned it recently, but F-Zero got left behind, people weren't really doing anything with it on the Wii, and there was nothing on DS, and it's kind of been forgotten. The last game was a GBA game, which was a hell of a long time ago to wait for an F-Zero. But, it seems like it's time. I think what he said was that they really didn't have any reason to put it on any of these platforms because they couldn't think of anything new or fresh to bring to the series. But now that he's mentioned it, I feel that F-Zero is definitely something that's going to happen to the system, it would look phenomenal in HD. That game looks amazing on the GameCube to begin with, so an HD F-Zero, that would look great. It would really sell the hardcore market, and people who love F-Zero will snap that up, no problem. Definitely think that that's a good game for them to release, and I hope that they do announce it at E3. So we come to my fifth prediction, which is my final sort of ballsy prediction, I guess, and it is that I think that Valve are going to be working on the Nintendo network, and there will be some sort of Steam integration at some level. You know, we've heard talks about how Nintendo are possibly collaborating with maybe EA, maybe Valve, maybe another company, but I think that, you know, Valve would be a fantastic partner for Nintendo, you know. They would very much help them in the online space, and I think that sort of PC games on Steam and the Wii U controller fit very nicely together. As I mentioned, you know, before, I think that a real-time strategy game on Pikmin, you know, when I was doing the Pikmin 3 video, I think a real-time strategy game worked perfectly on the Wii U, and those kind of games for the PC can easily be ported to Wii U as well. I'm not sure how likely it is. Valve does seem to have a nice partnership going with Sony at the moment, so I'm not sure how long that will last, but I feel that if they have ties with Nintendo, the Nintendo network could be something spectacular. It really could sort of even trounce Xbox Live. I don't think it's going to do that because Xbox Live obviously is a paid service, and unless Nintendo do that as well, then it's not really going to happen. But certainly they can surpass the PSN and do some fantastic things with the online integration, because Steam know what they're doing. They really do. So yes, I think that Valve possibly could be behind it, but that's kind of out there. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. We'll see, I don't know. If you want to hear more about these predictions, then I highly recommend you go listen to the 2.5 Gamers podcast. We did an E3 special show a couple of days ago, and that should be on iTunes at this point. If not, it will be on HighinFiber's channel, so you can click the description for that. Probably be in the description. If it isn't, I'll update it later and stuff. But yes, we have a show on our E3 predictions. I guarantee that you'll enjoy that because there's lots of talk about what each of us think, and we have kind of a game going on as to who's going to win that. So if you want to hear more in depth on what I've just talked about, then go listen to that. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed. You can obviously leave all your thoughts, all your predictions down below, and you know, nice conversation as always we can have with each other and see who will win the more predictions of stuff. Otherwise, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That closes out my 2-week daily vlog before E3. I'm sure I'll probably do something after E3, sort of catch up with what announcements have happened, and probably a review of each press conference after it happens. I will most likely talk about each one and record my thoughts straight afterwards, so you can look out for those. But this is the pre-E3 show, all done and dusted. I managed to do it. I'm very happy and proud of myself that I've done it, and yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed these. I definitely enjoyed making them, and I guess we'll see what happens at E3 later today. So get excited, get your shades on, and get ready to roll because E3 is coming. I'll see you guys later.